So our attrition rate is less than 10% in a year for our educator, community. And this is when there are thousands of, much more funded players out there who are constantly trying to poach each one of them, but they don't go. Education and community-based learning go hand in hand. The learning doesn't happen just inside the classroom. It happens outside of the classroom. It happens in the university. So there's always an opportunity for peers and learners to learn from each other and to get the social learning aspect into the picture.
So hello guys, welcome to our second edition of Townhall with Community Hood. This is our newest initiative where we try to bring a community leader and try to understand from their journey on how community building has helped them and how can community building be done better, taking certain tips around engagement, growth, and whatever we can pick based on the experience of the leader. Now, our first town hall event, was very, very exciting start. And today it's our attempt to take it one step ahead. And in that endeavor, we've got a very, very interesting personality here. So Zeeshan here, is someone who I've really liked interacting in my pre-event catch-up. One of the most interesting thing that I found about him was, while he's raised a significant capital recently, $3 million from Ankur Capital and few other investors in their pre-Series A round, but he's been bootstrapping, MyCaptain, which is a mentorship platform for new age careers. For almost 9 years across 2 startups, and that journey has paid off, at least today the way it is going on, and we would love to hear a lot of insights from Zeeshan today around that journey. And a couple of things more I would like to highlight about him. He's of course the founder and CEO of MyCaptain, and Zeeshan was also part of Business World 40 Under 40 in 2020. And he's also mentioned in 30 Under 30 list 2021 by Forbes India as a special mention in education industry.
Hi Nipun, thanks for that lovely introduction and pretty long introduction, right? यार आपने पूरी journey cover कर दी almost. But I'll come down and how do you want me to start? Do you want me to talk about how the idea came in and how we pivoted?
Why don't we start with this term? What are new age careers? Like the theme that we kept for today was how to build learner communities for new age careers. So what exactly are new age careers, and like how is the future of work evolving?
ठीक है, चलो. So let's look at it in this way, right? So over the next 10 years, there'll be more than 100 million people in India who would be launching careers in the digital economy, in the digital space, right? And when you talk about the kind of careers that will be existing over the next 10 years, they're very different. They cater to what we call as the gig economy, the passion economy, and the create economy, right? So आप देखेंगे बहुत सारे solo entrepreneurs coming in. You'll see a lot of freelancers coming in, a lot of gig workers coming in, a lot of creators coming in, so on and so forth. If you look at the kind of careers that will be existing over the next 10 years, the current academia that exists, the current colleges, institutions that exist, they cannot even fathom the kind of skills that are required for these careers, and they cannot cater to the kind of careers that will be evolving and emerging over the next 10 years. Academia तो 10 साल पुराना होता है. अब आप आगे के 10 साल में का अगर सोचोगे तो academia cannot cater to that, right? So there has to be a platform that comes in and tells people, showcases them, helps them discover the kind of careers that are going to exist in the future. And also enables them to learn, get skilled in these careers and get a job, a freelance opportunity, or get some kind of get a little serious around it. And if not, pursue it as a full-time career, at least have it as a side hustle that adds and that you can monetize and can add to your side income as well. So the passion economy will move, like that. And if you look at the kind of, if you look at creative economy, you'll see that majority of the people will move towards either starting their own enterprises, become solo entrepreneurs, become freelancers, or become gig workers. So आगे जाके 10 साल बाद या 9 to 5 जॉब्स कितनी एग्जिस्ट करने वाली है, वो सिर्फ लेगेसी करियर्स प्राइमरली में एग्जिस्ट करेगी. But majority of the workforce will be very different, and the way we imagine day-to-day life will be fairly different, going ahead compared to what it used to be for legacy careers like engineering, law, medicine, becoming a doctor. वो तो वैसे ही चलेगा. But all of these other things, the careers that I'm talking about, will be very different. So the future of work will be like that.
Awesome. So Zeeshan, very, very quickly want to also understand, someone also had asked this question, what exactly is the concept of MyCaptain? So how do you add value to these new age careers?
Right. So we provide beginner to advanced live and online cohort-based courses, which are industry-led and in partnership with industries, top brands like Filter Copy, Televi, Tales, Pepper Content, etc., that we release these courses with. And all of these are courses which have a tangible outcome. So if
Right.
you've decided to, let's say, explore UI UX design, or you've decided to explore digital marketing, or you've decided to explore something like advertising and copywriting, something like that. So you will be getting, let's say, an internship, a job, or a freelance opportunity by the end of these courses. So what we do is we realize that the kind of courses that we are talking about, the kind of careers that we are talking about, are more industry first than academia first. So the kind of partnerships that you need to crack with are with the industries rather than cracking it with academia. For example, अगर आपको content writer बनना है, तो आप मेरे को 5 कॉलेजेस के नाम बता दो जिधर से आपको पता होगा कि content writers बनते हैं. नहीं बता पाओगे.
I think all these are new age digital colleges only that are coming up.
Yeah, I won't even say digital colleges. There are still EdTech companies that are coming up and providing for that. अगर आप देखो कि maximum आपके इससे whistling boards आएगा या कोई journalism college आएगा, but see, the kind of spaces that we are talking about, academia first approach doesn't work. So you have to have an industry first approach. Hence, we decided to tie with industries. Instead of getting lecturers and getting professors to come and teach, we decided let's get practitioners, let's get people from the industry to come in and mentor and teach students. And that's how MyCaptain primarily works. So these are live and online cohort-based courses, which are industry, which are built with the industry and which are delivered by practitioners.
Got it. And then you also sort of get them placed or get them gigs with these.
Absolutely. People. Yeah. So that's the main aspect, right? Like skilling तो ठीक है, वो तो 1000 platforms आपको सिखा देंगे, but you need to be able to get them beyond just the skilling part. Where are the outcomes? How do you produce those outcomes? Are your learners actually getting freelance opportunities? Are your learners cracking paid internships or jobs, depending on what age they are in and what segment they belong to? So that's the key focus and key promise of the brand, that you should be able to monetize the skills that you learn on the MyCaptain platform.
Got it. Now, a related question to this, a lot of us here who are present in the audience are building learner communities. So just trying to understand, how is building a learner community for new age career different than building a learner community for a traditional career?
Yeah, it's very different. I feel that if you're talking about new age careers, ये careers अभी तक अच्छे से define ही नहीं हुए हैं, and the segments have not even matured yet, right? So if you look at legacy careers, you have a very clear path. यार ये करो, ये करो, ये करो, ये करो, and we'll get there. But new age careers आप अगर देखोगे, for example, let's say if I take up product management or if I take up community management, right? How old is this industry? 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? I'm talking the new age community management. I'm not talking about, there are some companies that have been doing community management for 20-25 years, right? But if you look at आज के ज़माने में किसी को community manager बनना है, या आज के ज़माने में किसी को if anybody wants to become, let's say, even a product manager, right? The whole ecosystem is not evolved yet, is not matured yet. So the kind of community management that is needed, I won't even say community management, the kind of community you need to build for a new age career is very different from a traditional legacy career, which can be much more organized and can be created in steps. Now, what I feel truly adds value, especially if you're building a community for new age careers, is can you create excellent feedback loops for everyone inside, that they can take feedback from each other, learn and grow. and B, can you provide enough number of monetization opportunities for people inside these careers? Because majority of the guys will be coming in over here would be either in their 0 to 1 journey, right, or they will be above the 0 to 1 journey. For 0 to 1 journey, the community will be very similar to a legacy career. But for people who are beyond the 0 to 1 stage, who are 1 or 2 years into the industry already, it will all be about feedback. It will all be about learning from each other. And can you provide them with enough gigs? Can you provide them with monetization opportunities? So on and so forth. So these are the two things that work out fairly well if you are trying to build for new age careers.
Got it. So just summarizing, like traditional careers still have defined jobs, they still have defined curriculums, but in these new age careers, people are still looking for more, monetization opportunities via the platform compared to, finding and going out in existing, ecosystem that is already there, which is the case in traditional careers. Got it.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Now, shifting the gears a little bit, I want to cover, how do you feel about the impact of community building? And let's start with maybe, MyCaptain, and not just in terms of the value that students, find in a community. Like a lot of us already have been discussing about that. But I want to know, what value has community building created for, the captains or, the business itself or any other stakeholder that you have at MyCaptain?
If you look at our educators or the captains as we call them, right? Around 250-300 of them are there with us at the moment. And what we see is that it's a community of its own. So they are collaborating with each other. They are, actually providing business to each other. So if there's a, content writer, or if there is, a baker in the community, they are reaching out to the digital marketer. They're reaching out to the copywriting captain. They're reaching out to the, content writing captain, and they are, utilizing each other's skills to grow their own, a network as well as their own businesses, right? So there's a lot of networking that's happening, because these are technically the top 1% in their streams and fields. So there's a lot of learning that they can have with each other, great network they can build with each other. Secondly, they can utilize their services and actually freelance for each other. So that's how some of them do a barter, some of them actually go ahead and do a direct monetization opportunity with each other. So right? So our attrition rate is less than 10% in a year for our educator, community. And this is when there are thousands of, much more funded players out there who are constantly trying to poach each one of them, but they don't go, right? So that's because of the community. So again, retention, aap keh sakte ho, in one sense, came in.
Sure.
Loss of less attrition in the captain community, etc. Now, if you look at the business, there's a very interesting part that we saw. We knew that our NPS scores were amongst the highest in the world when it comes to online education. They were reaching 70, 72, right? And despite having such great NPS scores, अपने आप जो referral आना चाहिए ना, the referral revenue contribution was less than 4%, right? So when your referrals are less than 4%, but your NPS is such high, we realize that there's some kind of a mismatch that's happening. There's a lever that is missing, which can start using the high NPS score to drive referrals down. And that is when we started seeing that it's very important to start building the community, to start building the alumni, network around it. And whoever is having such great experiences with us was saying that, 72 का आपका NPS जा रहा है, तो there needs to be a lever which is able to convert that into some kind of a referral coming in or increase in referral revenue coming in. So that's where we started using community to drive fairly high referral revenue in through the campus ambassador program, through various other hacks that we did, and from 4% it started jumping to 15 to 22%.
Coming to the theme again around the impact of community building. Why do you think community building is crucial for EdTech startups today, and like almost every EdTech startup today? So do you agree that should every EdTech startup focus on community building, yes? If yes, why? If no, then what type of edtech startup should do that?
Education and community-based learning go hand in hand. And it's like, if you just look at a school, right? If you look at a college, what happens? The learning doesn't happen just inside the classroom. It happens outside of the classroom. It happens in the university. So there's always an opportunity for peers and learners to learn from each other, and to get the social learning aspect into the picture. So, and education and social learning go very closely together. मैं थोड़ा education में जा रहा हूँ more than edtech या more than startups or more than community.
Sure.
But that's the whole essence of it. If you look at most of the successful education organizations which work at a tier 3, tier 4 level and beyond, it's all about social learning. Right? So it's all about the community. It's all about having the mentor or the person who's coming in and teaching has to be from the community itself, who probably went out there and achieved something, and so on and so forth. So community and education go very closely with each other. In fact, I'm doing another session with Pratham, I think over the next weekend, where we are talking about how communities can impact educational outcomes, right? So it cannot go without each other. But let's be if I want to talk about it in a more structured manner, let's look at a commentary on before the COVID era. So before the COVID era, if you are a startup, a new edtech startup, which is not really highly funded, you're probably locking horns with a Byju's, or you're locking horns with a Coursera, Udemy, or some international player. The only way you would have survived was by using community as a moat. All right, so if people have started learning from you, if they're learning from your educators, they're learning from your brand, they should be, and you're able to build a community around it, the community acts as a moat against competition. So that is really one of the few edtech companies tried doing that with a primary reason to avoid competition or to battle and lock horns with the biggest of the biggest guys, such that they are not able to take away, your learners into their ecosystem. Another thing that I feel edtechs can utilize, especially with community, is great alumni relations, right? So 3 things. One is social learning, which is very much essential to create great educational outcomes. Second is creating the moat. Third was alumni. So building the alumni, network around the thing. And then if you want to start looking at from a pure growth perspective, you can either use community as the top of the funnel, or you can use community as mid of the funnel. Now, if you look at the top of the funnel, बहुत easy रहेगा to get people, come in and join your learner community, or start engaging them and hope that someday you will be able to monetize that. But there's no proof, even at a world level, outside as well, that the top of the funnel approach for community works in edtech. Okay. तो वो अभी तक के कोई प्रूव नहीं है. Even we haven't been able to prove it. BlueLearn tried to do that. They couldn't figure it out yet. They're still trying to figure their, stuff out. However, what I feel, and what a couple of other edtech founders also feel, is community can be a great mid of the funnel. That means that if you have people, if you're running an ad on social media, कि यार ये मेरा course है, आप ये course ले लो. So if there are 100 leads that are coming in the ad, probably 1% will convert, or 3% will convert, right? What about the remaining 97 people? Why should they not learn from you? Why should they not engage with you? If they are not purchasing, if they don't have the purchasing power or the intent to do that. So you can start using community for these 97 people, engage them, give value to them, and at one point they will start converting into paid users, and you will be able to monetize your community as well. And remember कि ये सारे के सारे लोग जो आ रहे हैं, all the people who are coming into the mid side of the funnel are already people who had an intent to buy your course, who had an intent to gain a skill or learn a particular skill. So the intent wise there, it's a good crowd. You can do wonders with this if you utilize community as a mid funnel strategy.
Got it. Okay, I think it's fairly clear that mid funnel building and the typical marketing funnel where you get a lead, nurture a lead, community adds a lot of value while nurturing that lead.
Yeah.
Is what I'm sort of hearing.